What made you lose your faith in humanity? A young woman showed up at my front door crying her eyes out. She looked 22 with mascara running down her cheeks and her hands shaking. My wife Rebecca and I had been drinking celebrating our anniversary, so we were both a little buzzed when this girl appeared out of nowhere. She said she was lost and couldn't find her boyfriend's house. She said he lived somewhere near the county jail, which was a 15-minute walk from our place. She kept wiping her nose with her sleeve and looking around like she was scared someone was following her. Rebecca gave me that look that meant we should help, so I told the girl I'd walk her over there. Rebecca wanted to come too, but I told her to stay and watch the grill. The girl seemed relieved when I agreed to help and kept thanking me over and over. As we started walking, she explained that her phone had been stolen along with her food stamp card, so she couldn't call her boyfriend or use GPS. She said she'd been walking around for 2 hours trying to find his place. We headed toward the jail, taking the main roads first. The girl said some things looked familiar, but she wasn't sure if we were going the right way. She mentioned her boyfriend's house had a red door and a broken mailbox, which described about half the houses in that neighborhood. I was starting to sober up from all the walking and wondering if this was a good idea. My feet were starting to hurt, and I was thinking about those steaks getting cold back home. We'd been walking for almost an hour when she suddenly grabbed my arm and pointed at a small white house. She said that was definitely it because she recognized the broken garden gnome in the yard. We walked up the cracked driveway, and I noticed the red door she'd mentioned. The mailbox was indeed hanging off its post. She seemed so relieved to finally find the place that she practically ran up the front steps. I hung back on the walkway, figuring I'd make sure she got inside safely, then head home. The girl didn't knock or ring the doorbell. She just turned the handle and walked right in, which seemed odd, but I figured maybe they had that kind of relationship. I was about to turn and leave when the door swung back open, but it wasn't the girl standing there. It was a man holding a pistol pointed directly at my chest. "Wallet and phone now," he said in a voice that meant business. My hands went up automatically and I fumbled to get my wallet out of my back pocket. The beer buzz was completely gone, replaced by ice-cold fear. I handed over my phone and wallet while trying to see past him into the house. The man grabbed my stuff and then did something I wasn't expecting. Instead of slamming the door or telling me to run, he reached out with his free hand and grabbed my shirt. He yanked me forward with surprising strength, and I stumbled through the doorway into the house. The door slammed shut behind me, and I heard the deadbolt click. Inside the house was dark except for light coming from what looked like the kitchen. I could hear voices but couldn't make out words. The man with the gun pushed me forward down a narrow hallway. My mind was racing, trying to figure out what was happening. Had the girl been bait to rob helpful people, or was this something worse? We entered the kitchen, and I saw the girl sitting at a small table. She wasn't crying anymore. In fact, she was counting money and drinking a beer like nothing had happened. 2 other men were standing by the sink going through what looked like other wallets and phones. The table was covered with driver's licenses and credit cards from multiple people. The girl looked up at me and smiled, but it wasn't friendly. It was the smile of someone who'd won a game. She took a sip of her beer and said something to one of the men in Russian. They all laughed, and I realized how much trouble I was in. This wasn't random. This was a well-practiced routine, and I'd walked right into it. The man with the gun pushed me toward a door that looked like it led to a basement. One of the other men opened it, revealing wooden stairs going down into darkness. I could hear something down there. Movement, and maybe breathing of multiple people. The girl stood up from the table, still holding her beer. She walked over to me and leaned in close. I could smell the alcohol on her breath mixed with something else, maybe fear or excitement. She reached into my shirt pocket and pulled out the receipt from the liquor store Rebecca and I had visited earlier. She looked at it and her smile got wider. "Your wife Rebecca is probably wondering where you are by now. Maybe we should give her a call and invite her to the party too." Full story on channel linked below.